All right, welcome back to the channel, subscribers. Man, shout out to my man, Abdi Muhammad sent me Teddy Atlas talking all out the side of his neck about Deontay Wilder and unknowingly compliments one of the biggest thieves in the history of boxing. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel, subscribers. If you are not subscribed, please subscribe and hit the bell icon so you can be notified when we release more videos, which we do on the daily. Also, I want to say thank you to Abdi Muhammad for the subject matter in this video, sending in an email. And I really do love when the subscribers send me articles, send me things that you want me to talk about and address. I have no problem doing it. Much love to the Patreons. Definitely check out the Patreons. We're going to talk about a very sensitive political topic in the video that's going to be uploaded today. Also, thank you to everybody that donates to the channel. You guys make the channel go. Thank you there. Double thumbs up, triple thumbs up to you in the Cash App, in the live streams, the Venmo and the live streams. And actually, not many people do the Venmo, but the Cash App and the Super Chats. Thank you guys so much. Now let's get to Teddy Atlas, who says two things about Deontay Wilder where I was like, wow, man, how do you get this type of stuff out of your mouth? You know how you can. We all have our own opinions, right? We have our opinions, and my opinion can be different than your opinion. That does not mean that my opinion is biased or your opinion is biased. That's just your opinion. Bias is an unfair prejudice against. And the way that when I would refer to somebody as biased, when I'll throw that out there, I will say, if you are being hypocritical, there's a chance that your judgment is biased. So if you say one thing about, if something is cool for one person, but it's not cool for somebody else with the same facts, you might just be a little bit biased. Okay. And if you are, that's fine. It's not a big deal. You're unfairly prejudiced against something or somebody. So let's talk about Teddy Atlas and Deontay Wilder. He says two things in this video that I was like, wow, how did you really get that? How did you get that out of your mouth? Deontay Wilder, in talking and covering these fights, he was going through this video where he was covering fights for the week, right? Doing breaking down the Jose Ramirez Hooker fight. Broke down a couple other fights. I kind of enjoyed it. He showed me some things that I didn't notice in the fight. Very much, Teddy Atlas is a guy that is very, very focused on the fundamentals of boxing. The fundamentals of boxing, right? Now, Teddy Atlas is talking about a combination that was thrown by Jose Ramirez, where he threw out a jab, he threw out a right hand, the right hand missed, but he followed it up with a left hook. And then he said, well, sometimes you can throw a punch that is really just a setup punch. You can throw a jab, but you really don't mean for it to land. You're just throwing the jab out there so they move their head and you can catch him with another shot. You can catch him with a second shot. So the moderator or the co-host on the show says, oh, like the way that Wilder sets up his left hand, sets up his right hand by throwing the jab and forcing somebody to his right hand. They called it a throwaway punch. He said, yeah, like that like if Deontay Wilder throws out a throwaway punch, the jab, and comes with the right hand, and Teddy Atlas straight out his mouth said that every punch of Deontay Wilder is a throwaway punch because his technique is so bad, none of them are good punches. Huh? A guy with 41 and 0 with 40 knockouts and 9 heavyweight title defenses. Every one of his punches are throwaway punches. None of them are meant to land. Teddy, overstate much? Do you overstate much? Exaggerate much, Teddy? Exaggerate? Now, how many times have you heard him compliment fighters who are not necessarily technically perfect? You have a guy that can hit you dead center with a shot and not bust a hair off your head, not bust, and not like lint off your head, but somehow his punches are real punches, even though he couldn't knock lint off your shoulder. Tyson Fury does not have technically perfect technique. His jabs and right hands land flush on the chin and don't hurt people. How in the world is it that his punches aren't throwaway punches, but Deontay Wilder's are? How do you throw away a punch? How is it a throwaway punch when somebody lands flat on their back laid out? Obviously, this is an exaggeration on the part of Teddy Atlas, which demonstrates his bias. The massive exaggeration demonstrates his bias. Then he says something like, and to the credit of the co-host, the co-host says, it's like, hold on, I'm not saying people don't give him credit for being tough. Like people don't give Deontay Wilder credit because he was really hurting the Luis Ortiz fight. He was hurting the Tyson Fury fight. Teddy Atlas rightly corrects him and says he wasn't. He doesn't say, but he's like, if you think so in the Tyson Fury fight, right? But watch this. This is the hypocrisy in it. This is the hypocrisy. You not saying anything about, first of all, let me get back to it. And then so that's the first part, the throwaway punch. And the second thing is whether or not they should consider sanctioning Adam Kownacki's fight with Deontay Wilder. Let me get this right. Then he talks about James J. Braddock and Max Baer and James J. Braddock. The Cinderella man, right? I always find it hilarious when people talk about James Braddock and don't bring up like he was this great story, this honorable man. What a great success story. When his career ended by striking an unconscionable contract with Joe Louis that eventually damn near led Joe Louis into poverty because James J. Braddock took 10% of his purse for the rest of his career. Could you imagine today somebody striking a deal where Deontay Wilder did a deal with Anthony Joshua, with somebody who's like, yeah, if you want to fight the championship, you have to give me 10% of your purses for the rest of your career, right? The rest of your career, which by the way, 10% is before taxes. But anyway, so in celebrating James J. Braddock, a guy that stole 10% of Joe Louis's career money for the rest of his career, he talks about a fight that actually did get sanctioned and the underdog actually won. Teddy Atlas pointed to Max Baer and the fact that Max Baer, who had beaten somebody so bad in a fight that the dude passed away after the fight. He compared that to Adam Kownacki and how people should just consider whether or not Deontay Wilder's fight with Adam Kownacki should be sanctioned or not because of Deontay Wilder's tremendous power and Adam Kownacki's lack of defense. So maybe they should just consider not sanctioning that fight. Oh, really? But yet, you think it's okay. You think it's okay for them to sanction a fight with Vasily Lomachenko and Jason Sosa. You think it's okay, though, to sanction a fight between Vasily Lomachenko and Miguel Mariaga. Mismatches that are so gross that the fighters themselves say no more. Nope. The fighters themselves knew they were so overmatched. Overmatching fighters is done all the time at Top Rank. All the time at Top Rank. But Adam Kownacki, who just beat a former title contender in Chris Arreola, right? Who went the distance and took Adam Kownacki the distance. But I mean, it took him the distance. Took some shots, yeah. But now that's a reason not to let Deontay Wilder fight him. But he tried to back up off of it, right? Like, I know I'm going to get a lot of slack for this. I'm just saying you should consider it. Oh, what a cop-out, Teddy. You should consider it. Why should they consider it? They should consider it in every case. Maybe they should consider it for Tyson Fury versus Otto Wallen. What's the chances of that fight being competitive? What was the chance of Tyson Fury versus Tom Schwartz being competitive? Are you kidding me? Like, man, but if it's Deontay Wilder, oh yeah, we need to consider it. But at the same time, let me get this. Deontay Wilder's so dangerous that a puncher that you should consider whether or not a legitimate top 10 heavyweight in the world should be allowed to fight him. But at the same time, all of Deontay Wilder's punches are throwaway punches. Pick one, Teddy. Pick one. Either he's a murderous puncher and a terrible threat to life and limb of significantly accomplished fighters, or he's garbage and all of his punches are just terrible and never meant to do any harm. Just pick one, Teddy. Pick one. Anyway, it is what it is. Let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Peace.